Nations, much like individuals navigating a complex world, inherently seek strength and security in numbers. It's a fundamental aspect of survival and advancement on the global stage. And for these nations, alliances are their chosen tool, a strategic instrument to amplify their capabilities and achieve shared objectives. Throughout history, alliances have been forged, not from fleeting sentiment or emotional bonds, but from carefully calculated national interests. A pragmatic assessment of benefits and risks, primarily security but also prosperity and of course, influence on the world stage. These partnerships amplify power, projecting strength beyond individual capabilities. They secure access to vital resources, and they present a united front, a formidable force against perceived or potential threats. From ancient Greece's leagues, where city-states banded together for mutual defense, to modern NATO, a cornerstone of transatlantic security, the underlying logic remains constant. Together, nations can achieve what they could never accomplish alone, overcoming limitations and expanding horizons. Today, in Asia, a new alignment is quietly emerging, reshaping the geopolitical landscape. China, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, each driven by their own unique ambitions and national priorities, but also by a set of converging interests that bind them together. This evolving partnership isn't a formal treaty, etched in stone with binding obligations, but rather a strategic convergence, a pragmatic alignment of goals. And it's challenging India's long-standing dominance in South Asia. The union of a global superpower, wielding immense economic and political clout, a nuclear state possessing significant military capabilities and a rising economy, rapidly developing and integrating into global markets, could reshape trade flows, security arrangements, and diplomatic dynamics across the entire region. As this axis takes shape and solidifies its position, the world must ask a crucial question. Will it ultimately stabilize Asia, fostering cooperation and shared prosperity? Or will it, instead, ignite new tensions, exacerbating existing rivalries and creating new points of conflict? At the center of this emerging dynamic is China, a nation with ambitions that stretch across continents. Wielding considerable economic and rapidly growing military might, China is asserting itself on the global stage. Its influence is undeniable. It is also aggressively advancing its Belt and Road Initiative to secure unfettered access to the crucial Indian Ocean, a strategic waterway for trade and power projection. This initiative is reshaping infrastructure and alliances across the region. Pakistan, China's steadfast, longtime ally, stands as a cornerstone of this strategy. It offers a direct and vital route via the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, a project of immense scale and importance for Beijing's strategic ambitions and regional connectivity. Bangladesh, strategically positioned at the Bay of Bengal, is another key player in this evolving geopolitical landscape. It is a crucial maritime node, increasingly drawn into China's economic orbit through substantial infrastructure investment and development projects. For Pakistan, this enduring alliance is absolutely essential, balancing its relationship with India, modernizing its economy through Chinese assistance, and deepening its crucial military ties with China, ensuring its security and regional influence. China consistently supplies Pakistan with advanced weaponry and defense technology, significantly reinforcing its deterrence capabilities and overall strategic resilience in a complex region. Bangladesh, on the other hand, actively seeks robust economic growth and greater diplomatic autonomy on the world stage. It is strategically leveraging Chinese investment to diversify its international partnerships and carefully reduce its reliance on Indian influence in the region. The synergy between these nations is becoming increasingly clear. China gains significant strategic depth and broader regional influence, Pakistan secures a powerful and reliable ally, and Bangladesh benefits from crucial investment and increased regional leverage. This is not necessarily an alliance forged from shared values or ideologies, but rather one born out of pragmatic, transactional interests and mutual benefits. Each nation strategically finds solutions to its unique challenges in the others, collectively forming a complex yet undeniably potent new bloc in the region. Their evolving partnership is driven less by rigid ideology and far more by the pursuit of mutual benefit, economic prosperity, and a significant regional recalibration of power. Together, these nations are actively crafting a new and influential power center right in the heart of South Asia, reshaping the geopolitical landscape. The world is watching with keen interest and careful analysis as this pragmatic alignment steadily takes shape, potentially altering the balance of power in the region and beyond. The alliance is moving from theory to reality through concrete actions. China's Belt and Road projects now link Pakistan and Bangladesh, with plans for a trans-Himalayan economic corridor connecting all three. In 2025, their navies held the first trilateral exercise in the Bay of Bengal, signaling joint military intent. Defense procurement is increasingly coordinated, enhancing interoperability and joint capabilities. Diplomatically, they vote as a bloc in international forums, amplifying their collective voice and supporting each other on contentious issues. Economically, a yuan-based currency swap agreement now underpins trilateral trade, reducing dependence on the US dollar and insulating against Western sanctions. These steps are transforming a loose alignment into a structured, integrated partnership. Economic ambition is the alliance's core driver. China seeks new markets and secure investments, integrating Pakistan and Bangladesh into a vast economic zone. Pakistan relies on Chinese investment to spur growth and address energy shortages. Bangladesh leverages the partnership to build infrastructure and become a manufacturing hub. Militarily, the bloc counters India's dominance, creating strategic dilemmas for New Delhi and extending China's reach into the Indian Ocean. Naval access in Pakistan and Bangladesh allows China to project power and secure sea lanes. Diplomatically, the trio coordinates to shape international agendas and defend their governance models against Western criticism. Economic integration fuels military modernization while military strength protects investments. A unified diplomatic front shields them from external pressure. This alliance is a comprehensive project aiming to reorder South Asia's geopolitical landscape. For India, this alliance is a strategic nightmare, encircled on three fronts by China, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. The string of pearls theory becomes reality, forcing India to rethink its defense and economic strategies. Trade and investment could bypass India, undermining its regional influence and economic prospects. India's response: accelerate military modernization, deepen ties with the US, Japan, and Australia through the Quad, and build new partnerships across Asia. The psychological impact is profound, challenging India's status as South Asia's leader. Strategic ambiguity gives way to open rivalry, raising the stakes for regional stability. India must now compete for influence in its own neighborhood. The era of quiet competition is over. A new phase of intense geopolitical rivalry begins. Despite its initial momentum and the promising prospects it holds, the alliance faces a number of potential internal strains that could undermine its long-term viability. These challenges are multifaceted and stem from a variety of sources. China's dominant economic and political position within the alliance could breed resentment, particularly in Pakistan and Bangladesh. This is especially true if Beijing overreaches in its influence or imposes unfavorable economic or political terms on its partners. Furthermore, Pakistan's historically India-centric foreign policy focus may clash with Bangladesh's desire for more balanced regional relations, potentially leading to friction. This risks discord within the bloc if it's perceived as becoming overly anti-India in its strategic orientation. Economic competition, particularly in key sectors such as textiles and manufacturing, could spark intense rivalries among the member states, especially if Chinese investment and development projects appear unevenly distributed or favor one nation over others. The accumulation of substantial debt from Chinese-funded infrastructure projects could also trigger a negative backlash, as has been observed in other regions. This could ultimately threaten domestic stability within the participating countries. The inherent political volatility and frequent shifts in government in both Pakistan and Bangladesh introduce an additional layer of uncertainty to the alliance's future. Significant leadership changes in either nation could lead to abrupt shifts in foreign policy priorities and strategic alignments, potentially disrupting the bloc's cohesion. It's important to remember that the foundation of this alliance is primarily pragmatic, driven by shared economic and strategic interests, rather than deeply rooted in historical or cultural ties. This makes it particularly vulnerable to the ever-changing landscape of international relations, shifting geopolitical interests, and the complex dynamics of internal politics within each member state. Therefore, any major disagreement, a significant shift in strategic priorities, or a change in political leadership could potentially unravel the entire partnership. Ultimately, the bloc's future success hinges on the continued alignment of core interests among its members and the skillful management of these inherent internal tensions and potential conflicts. Therefore, its long-term cohesion and stability are far from guaranteed and require constant vigilance and proactive diplomacy. The rise of a China-Pakistan-Bangladesh bloc marks a turning point for South Asia. It could create a tense but stable balance of power, deterring unilateral moves and forcing caution. Yet, the alliance's confrontational posture toward India risks triggering an arms race and deepening mistrust. The region could become a flashpoint in the broader US-China rivalry, with global consequences for trade and security. The stakes are enormous. Nearly a quarter of humanity and vital trade routes hang in the balance. Whether this new reality brings stability or conflict depends on the choices made in Beijing, Islamabad, Dhaka, and New Delhi. Diplomatic skill and restraint will be crucial to avoid escalation. The future of South Asia, and perhaps the world, will be shaped by how this alliance is managed.